All right, everybody, let's get started. Thank you for jumping on tonight. We appreciate everybody. Congratulations to you for taking the time to jump on, take this opportunity to be with us and to join Ryan on this first kind of a kickoff call to this next 8 weeks. We are extremely excited for what's about to happen, not only in 7K, but in your own businesses, right? Because that is the idea of this call, is for all of you to jump in and figure out exactly what you could be and possibly should be doing to be able to maximize your efforts in getting to where you want to go in 7K, of course, and also just in your own life, right? We're in the new year. Hopefully you've set some goals. Hopefully you have a laundry list of things that you want to accomplish this year, and specifically in this month, in the next 2 or 3 months in quarter one. And for us, it's really, really important, not just to help jumpstart your 7K business, but to help jumpstart your efforts to be able to make your entire life just a little bit better. And I promise you that the principles that will be we presented here, and some of the ideas, and also some of the accountability that will be in conjunction with some of this training, is going to help you do that. Okay. So by the way, I just got done. I want to bring this up because if you don't have one, you should make one. This is what I'll chime in for tonight, and then I'm going to let Ryan run for the rest of the time, and I'm going to step back and just watch. But I actually just got off the phone with Ryan about an hour and a half ago, and I was on the way to the gym to get a quick workout in, even if it wasn't like the best one, and hurry back here and get this thing kicked off. Not because like I necessarily care about how I look or all these things, but that was the one non-negotiable that I made for myself today. I knew today was going to be a massive whirlwind. I knew today was going to be just atrocious in terms of like getting anything done that I wanted to get done. There was some fires that we were working on today, which is normal, right? It's a normal thing in a business. But there was one non-negotiable that I had today, and that was to get myself to the gym. And that would have been success for me on a personal level today. And so if you don't have a non-negotiable that you're working on every day, then you should make one. And as you're getting this training, that's what you should be thinking about, is what is the one thing every single day that I can consistently do or commit to myself, that I will not break that promise with myself, right? The commitment that I made with myself, every single day, right? Very important. So that being said, Ryan, we're super excited to have you. Thank you for being on here, and we are going to throw it over to you. And by the way, I think we have a problem that this meeting is not supposed to be limited to 500 people, but it's maxed at 500. We got more people that they're texting me saying I want to get on. So we're going to get recordings out. So just let your people know, we'll get recordings out. We'll get everything done tomorrow. In fact, we'll send it to the group, and then by next week we will have it fixed so we can get a lot more people on here than we've got. So over to you, Ryan. Take it away, buddy. Appreciate you.
Blake, thanks for this. And congratulations, everybody, for maxing this out. That is a great way to kick this off, to go ahead and max it out. We're going to have some fun here tonight. I'm going to jump right in because we are going to keep this tight. We're going to keep it short. I promise you over the next 8 weeks, you're going to get to know me more on a personal level. I'll be dropping bits and pieces of my story, but many of you already do know me. I've been really behind the scenes and working with some specific groups in 7K for several years now. And those that haven't met me, you're going to you're meeting me now. So I live down in Central Florida with my wife of almost 29 years and our 4 adult sons. And we have really had a family that's been a part of this industry for more than a quarter of a century. I started at a very young age. And by most standards, we had several decades of very high level success, and it really created freedoms in our life. And has allowed me now to shift into more of, while we continue to enjoy the lifestyle that we created, shift into some other things. And one of those things is a passion of mine, and that is to teach and train people how to set themselves up to become financially free in this great industry. And when I was really looking around and doing some other things, I came across 7K through one of your top leaders, Wayne Clark, by the way, I mentioned his name. And we started communicating on it. And the more I started to just talk about it and get to know the owners, the more I saw how special what you have is and how in alignment the type of teaching that I would want to teach with the company, it would just fit right in, and it has proven to be that. So I'm excited to dive in. We're going to be talking about some things that I have coined in my world is called the 7 laws. And I wrote them in a book that was released, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago. And it really came out of about a decade of running and building a big business within the industry. I uncovered 7 things that I was really bad at and that it seemed like everybody else seemed to have struggles with. So these are not items that I think I've been a genius at my whole career, but they're things that as I overcame them, and really this is the story of overcoming these things, as I began to unlock and work with the laws, as I call them, it allowed me to accelerate my businesses that I was building. And after I learned them, began to teach them, after I authored this book, I actually did it again. I went out and built another business that was even larger, bigger, more profitable. And it comes down to the things that I just want to reiterate in this book. So each week over the next 7-8 weeks, we're going to be uncovering one of these laws. There'll be 8 weeks, so it'll take us 7 weeks to do that. There'll be a recap week, and there's going to be some special things going on there. But I want to commend the leadership, commend the ownership for making an investment into this. And as we jump into this, I'm about to share my screen. I'm going to take you through law number 1, but I want to lay some foundation here over the next 25 minutes or so that's going to set in motion the rest of the 8 weeks. So thank y'all for being here. Grab your pens and pads. This is going to be literal gold for your business. And I don't mean to overuse that word, but we're going to lay some things down for you to help you grow your business. So this is the Team Builder Blueprint. That's what I call it. I believe it's a blueprint to help you build massive and large teams. We're going to go into lesson number 1 here. And if you haven't been getting the text messages, the reminders, there'll be some additional updates. Screenshot this screen, make sure it's sent out to your team. You already heard that we're going to take the Zoom limit up this next week. So more people will be on live, but this is how they get on live each week. So make sure you screenshot this and we can roll. Now, what are you going to get out of this training? Here's the goal here. This is going to be a take action 8 weeks. The company already has promos in place. We already are moving towards New Orleans. We're already moving. Everybody's moving, right? We kicked the year off. We want 2023 to be the best year yet. And the best way I know how to do that after 25 plus years of building is to get the first quarter, hit it out of the gate hard this first 90 days, and it kind of sets in motion the rest of the year. So what are you going to get out of this training? You're going to get a jump start, a focus towards what's already in motion. I'm not here to retrain you necessarily, but I want to add fuel to the fire. And as I preface this, I want to say, you do not want to wait. You do not want to wait for this 8 weeks training and then to begin. This is not meant to for you to wait. It's meant to go, grow and build while you're learning this, and not wait for anything, because time is clicking and we can create momentum right now. But the goal here is to help everyone sponsor 5 to 10 people. Jump over in the chat room and give me a thumbs up if you say, over the next 90 days, I'd like to personally enroll at least 5 or more people by taking action, doing something I want to do anyway. I want to open up the chat room. If I'm seeing it, give me your favorite emoji. Give me your favorite thumbs up. Let me know. I see some numbers here. I see some people are wanting to sponsor more, 10, 15, 20 people, some 20 and 30. So I've got thumbs up. Okay, so this is an action group. This is a group of people that's wanting to play hard. They're wanting to make it happen. And that is what this training is all about. It is a take action training. So let me give you a few thoughts for the night. One is, we never achieve higher than our limiting beliefs. So wherever our thinking is at today, our best thinking has got us to where we're at. And so we want to stretch that. My goal as a coach, as an outside person, someone that can kind of look at this perspective of the whole thing. And that's just, again, it's a different perspective. You have great leaders here in this company, people that, truthfully, I'm not even going to suggest that you need me to grow or build, create momentum at all. Having me in here may add a different perspective. It may speed some things up for some of you, and it'll give you that extra. But, I'm just icing on the cake. I'm going to give you what I've got, what I've learned. But my goal is really to stretch your limiting beliefs, is to help you think a little bigger. It's help you to, think that, hey, I can sponsor more than I thought I could. Hey, I can create momentum when I didn't really think I could. because these beliefs are going to drive us day in and day out to take the action that's really going to be needed to set us free. I want you to ask yourself these questions as we're going, starting right now. How am I showing up to the game? When I pick up the phone and call someone, when I show up to the event, when I meet someone for coffee, when I jump on the Zoom, am I bringing a belief that says, listen, I'm not trying to chase you. I'm not trying to talk you into anything. We're going to go build this business with or without anyone. Now, you don't need to go around saying that to people. Hey, I'm going to build this with or without you. You need to present yourself. They need to feel it from you that you're moving on and you're not being held up by anyone. So how are you showing up to the game? Is there a high level of belief, or is it kind of like, I hope it works. I hope that this call resonates. What is the way you're showing up? And would I want to motivate myself? Am I the type of person, when I want to call someone to get or communicate with someone that's going to help me think bigger, help me be motivated, help me go to the next level? Am I able to do that for people? Would I want myself to motivate myself? And we've got to get ourselves to that point. I want to ask you this. Are you committed? As we launch these 8 weeks, are you committed? When you're interested in something, you only do it when it's convenient. When you're committed, you accept no excuses, only results. And I have a feeling that there's people, maybe not on the screen tonight, but people in your organization that are telling you they want it, but they're really just interested. They're waiting for the right time, the right place. And let me just go ahead and lay it out. To create momentum, to set yourself financially free, it's not going to take years and years and years to get that momentum going, but it will take some periods, some blocks of time that are going to be inconvenient for you. But a short inconvenience can set you up for decades of convenience. See, I've been a stay-at-home dad since I was 26 years old. I'm almost 49. I'm 40. So almost the majority of my life has been able to be free because of this industry. We were able to raise 4 children around the freedom that this industry can create. And maybe you're a little bit older. Maybe you want to be around your grandkids a whole lot more. Maybe you want to travel a whole lot more. Maybe you want to give a whole lot more. But it's going to take a little bit of inconvenience to get that momentum going. So when you're committed, you accept no excuses, only results. See, we tend to hold ourselves accountable when we're committed. When we're not really committed, we tend to hold other people accountable, but not ourselves. It's a choice. And I want to tell you kind of an epiphany I had as a young man when I saw people walking the stage and I wasn't walking the stage. When I saw people sponsoring people and I wasn't able to sponsor people. As I began to hang around top earners, and as I began to learn from them, I realized everything that a top leader is doing in 7K, for example, can be learned. And if it can be learned, you can learn it. So you can learn how to be more outgoing. You can learn how to communicate better. You can learn leadership. Now, some people have more natural things that they bring to the table. Some of you have been in leadership positions 15 years before you got here, so you're already developed. But if we're someone that's struggling in a number of areas, we can learn that once we identify the areas we need help in and we begin to communicate and hang out with the right people, we can all grow into becoming someone that can build a big business in this industry. So if we adopt this philosophy right here, then we tend to internalize, it's a no excuse philosophy. It's just a matter of, do we want it bad enough? And I'm telling you, I do believe everybody can have this. I don't believe everybody will do it, but I believe everybody could if they wanted to. And if it can be learned, you can learn it. See, the next 8 weeks is all about action. And I want us to remember this: life rewards action, not intention. Many people go through year after year after year with great intentions. I intend on making a new list. I intend on learning how to do a presentation. I intend on sponsoring more people in the next 90 days to create momentum. But until they actually take action, get out of their comfort zone, which is what I want to nudge us to do with the gold rush, with the different things that are happening in the company, we got to take action to benefit from that. So what is momentum? We're going to talk a lot about this word. Momentum is really simple. Here's my definition for momentum within the industry. It's forward motion fueled by a series of wins. So we're moving forward. And as people begin, including ourselves, begin to win on our team, as people are winning, as they're accomplishing things, it begins to create momentum. The more wins we have as a team, as an organization, as a company, the more momentum we create. So the more 5-figure, 6-figure, we're heading towards 7-figure incomes that can take place with a model like this. The more wins, the more momentum, the more belief. The belief goes up. Doesn't mean everybody's going to win, because not everybody's going to go to work. Not everybody's going to follow directions. Not everybody's going to learn, take the time to learn. But the more wins we have, it'll become undeniable that this is possible. And it'll just be a matter of whether or not you want to jump on the momentum train. Here's the beauty of 7K. You're at the beginning of this. You're at the beginning of momentum. Very few people have heard of the company, yet it has now a significant amount of years of track record. They've got things in place. I have spent some time out of the corporate office. I understand why this is such an exciting thing for so many people. And I'm so proud to be on here with you tonight, but we've got an opportunity to help create a lot of wins. And the wins start with you. You've got to help yourself win. You've got to put on your own oxygen mask first to be able to help others do the same. So the wins begin with you. It's not about you signing up a bunch of people and then go managing that group to see if you can help them. The wins need to be happening with you. You've got to create wins and continue to create them for yourself while you help others. So you'll always be more effective if your team sees you winning than if they see you just trying to get them to win. It's a, hey, we lock arms. That is the nature of leadership. I talk a lot about moving the marbles. And so if you see on the screen here, we're going to be talking about this every week. If you want to have some fun, go grab yourself 2 jars and fill one of them with marbles, because over the next 8 weeks and definitely this year, this jar has about 108, maybe 180 to 200 marbles in it. Our goal is to move all the marbles from this jar to this jar. And this is really what it means. Each marble represents a proper invite, a proper presentation, and a proper follow through. It doesn't mean they signed up. It just means you did your job, because freedom, my friends, is inside of moving the marbles. It's right here. This is where the freedom is. We just have to get it to this jar. And every time we move a marble, we're that much closer to freedom. So it's presenting, and following through. How many marbles can we move? How many marbles can we get our teams to move? Because the freedom is in moving the marbles. Now, you won't have to do it forever at the same pace, but if you want to create momentum, here's the beauty of this. I'm getting ready to cover some points here. If you fail 80% of the time, you win. You know, if you move 10 marbles and 8 of them said no, you got 2 yeses out of that. So let's just go move 10 marbles as fast as we can again, because every 10 means 2. That's the 80-20 rule. So you can fail a lot and win. You just have to be willing to fail. Yeah. And some people aren't willing to do they don't want to even talk to people because there's a chance of failure. Attack failure with excitement. Move the marbles, knowing that most of them may not join, but the activity is going to force you to create momentum. Everybody has a number. You know, I picked the number 200 because I haven't met too many people that moved 200 marbles, 200 contact. They invited, presented, and followed through with 200 people over the course of a year or 2 or 3 that didn't end up sponsoring 20, 30, 40, or 50 people out of the process, and ended up with some very large teams. In this case, if you're starting from scratch today, even if you've been in for a year and nothing's happened, you're only 2 teams away from freedom. Let's hit the reset button. We're in 2023. Let's roll for the next 90 days. Because you got a number. Your number might be 145. Somebody else's number might be 189. If you're really bad, your number might be 235. That might have been my number. I don't know what it was. But you get better in the process. It doesn't matter if the first 30 or 40 marbles didn't work out for you. You learned a lot of things to do and not to do. So now the next 40, you might close half of them. I don't know. But there is a number that when you walk across the stage is financially free at whatever level you need to be at. There will have been a certain amount of marbles that you move to get there. I just want to help you go ahead and get it out of the way. See, the speed at which you pursue your goals and dreams affects everything in this business. And so we get to choose the speed at which we do this, and all of it builds our beliefs. If you want to move 20 marbles a month for 10 months, you get to do that. If you want to move 5 marbles a month for 40 months. You get to do that. Now, I don't recommend 1 marble a month. I mean, that'll take you 200 months to move the jar, and it's a boring, some people move just slow enough to be pain. It's so painful, right? When you do that. So we want to learn to move the marbles. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bust into 10 minutes of training here on law number 1, but every week we're going to add up the score of those that want to participate. So last week we got with the leaders. There was a few hundred people, I'm guessing, that were part of that. And we kind of did a test run with what I'm about to show you. Every Monday, you're going to be sent a link, a scorecard link. And this is going to help you with your belief. There's going to be some prizes given out. We're going to have some fun with it. But more importantly, it's an accountability. Every Monday, I'm asking everybody that's participating. And we got more than 500, maybe double this, will be watching the video. Submit your scorecard. Now, this particular week just went out to a smaller group of leaders, but that is kind of a test week. Let me show you what happened. Just this past week, just with, I think the number's 160 is going to pop up. 160 people submitted a scorecard. And every Monday you'll get the scorecard. I think you've got till, maybe it's Tuesday. Tuesday you get the scorecard, and you've got to turn it in by Wednesday at noon, I think is how we're going to do that. But however it comes to you, you'll get it the weeks are going to go from Wednesday to Wednesday, and then you'll have a certain period of time to submit the scorecard before we get on this Zoom. So 160 people submitted that they contacted 582 new people. There were 281 presentations. Now, here's what I'm looking for as a leader from many years of experience. I like the ratio to be at least 50% of the people that we invite or that we contact to turn into presentations. And if you look, we did a little bit better than 50%. Out of that, we ended up with 69 new members. So 69 people were personally sponsored by those of you that participated. And that is better than the 80-20 rule. That's a 24.6% closing ratio out of the gate. Now, I didn't add this up, but let's do it real quick. We're at about 200. That means there's still 212 people that could be followed up with over the next week or two. So even though we had a 24% closing ratio, I just want y'all to see how these numbers work in a group setting. There may be another 20% that ends up joining out of the 212 people that saw the presentation that haven't signed up yet. This is a great number, everybody. This is a momentum number. We only need 20% to create momentum. We're going to blow past that with this group. So y'all are actually participating in things right now that if we keep on it as a group, we're going to create an explosive momentum 2023. Now, I'm going to add these numbers up. We're going to see what happens over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see the numbers go up and down based on participation, but we had 160 participants. Now, let me give you another number here. I'll give you 3 numbers, 134 and 26. I'm not going to print the names. I'm not going to put the names up. Okay. I will never do that. If we're running a contest, I might show some of the winners, but I want you to think about this with me because we got a lot more people on tonight. Out of the 160, 100 people said they were definitely going to New Orleans. 34 said they're undecided. 26 said, right now, I'm not planning on going. And hey, that's great. But one of my goals would be to help you create a belief to where some of the 26, maybe all of them, some of the 34, maybe all of them, decide that New Orleans is an important part of my financial freedom, meaning it's going to cost you money. I'm speaking now to the 34 and 26. I want to help you get to the belief that you understand it's going to cost you money, time, energy by not committing to go to New Orleans. Why? Because you're going to build at a different level. You're going to build at a different pace. See, when you're committed to things 90 days, 120 days out, you operate on a different level. You promote differently. You get more aggressive with hitting your goals. And so I want to help you over the next 8 weeks. I'm not going to make you. Nobody's going to make you do it. And if for some reason, like your daughter's getting married that day, there are legitimate things that can happen. But for many of you, it's just going to be a priority decision to go or not to go. And I want to help everybody go that can go. The last thing is we're going to log all of these numbers. It's going to be fun. You're going to see it next week. We're giving out some, matter of fact, let me go ahead and mention this here. let me mention, we're going to give out 3 things next week. And we're going to give out, to the top producers, presentations, those that do the most amount of presentation. We're just going to have a little bit of fun. I've been given permission, Blake, again, they're giving this out, but I am going to have a leaderboard. You'll see some names. So everybody needs to submit, and you want to submit every week, even if you have some zeros on there, because the numbers are going to add up over a 4-week period. And we want to really track and see what our percentages really are. But we're giving away 3 first accesses to coin drops of your choice. So some of the winners next week will get some first access to some upcoming coin drops of your choice. That'll be fun. But more importantly, all of you that participate are going to win because you're beginning to create momentum for your business. So we're going to have some fun with that. Now, the first 3 laws that we're touching on, I'm looking at the clock, so I may pause this in a few minutes. We may resume it. Remember, this is going to be ongoing. You don't need to wait for these trainings necessarily to build your business. This is just an addition to keep us motivated. I really wanted to accomplish what I accomplished already tonight, set the tone, let you know about how we're going to be moving the marbles. And when you get this scorecard every week, everybody jump on it, get it back to us by the deadline that'll be in the email, and it will get the ball rolling for what we're doing. So in the book, now I cover 3 laws. The law of the first impression. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So your first impressions matter. What we do in the first 30 seconds matter. I'll talk about that. There's also a law of staying in control. 90% of all sales success begins and ends with staying in control. So we want to learn how to communicate and really have confidence in how we're setting appointments, how we're dealing with prospects. And then there's this law of the takeaway. These are what I call posture laws. People want what they can't have. And really, it doesn't mean that you're rude, that you're obnoxious or anything. It means that you've got to get to the point where you're willing to say no to the prospect, where you're not trying to get everybody in your business. You're not begging them, pleading them, talking to them. You're not going to chase them. And you're in charge. And if the timing's just not right, it's you move on, and they can feel this commitment from you coming out. So these are the first 3, next 1, 2, and 3 laws that we're going to cover that are going to help you really continue to perfect. As you're moving the marbles, you'll start applying things. So this law of the first impression, as I begin here tonight, I do want to talk about defining what I mean by posture. So defining what I mean by posture is this. There's what we call bad posture, good posture, and true posture. Bad posture is when people feel like we're begging, pleading, or chasing them into our 7K business. And if we're having trouble getting return phone calls, if we're getting on the phone with somebody, they sound excited, but then we can't ever get a hold of them again. If we just don't feel like we're connecting with people, a lot of times it comes to the way that we're coming across to people, and that's with bad posture. Now, good posture is when we learn, and I'm going to teach you how to have good posture, is when we learn to come across that we're not chasing, we're not begging, that we don't need people. And we can learn to communicate that way. That is going to take your game way up faster. Now, you could still build the business with some bad posture, but it's not going to go fast. You can really build a business with good posture. True posture, however, is where you want to arrive. It's where you don't consciously have to think anymore. So by the time you've moved the marbles, all of us are learning as we're growing, right? As we're getting started, we're learning and learning. By the time you get through, you're actually doing the work for a few months, you'll get to the point where you have true posture, which is you don't have to think about coming across this way. This is just who you are. This is a vibe that you're sending. This is you on a mission. You know how you met people that are on a mission? They don't have to tell you they're on a mission. You can feel it. You just are attracted. There's a magnetic force that really is there. And that is what we call true posture. It's the way people receive you. It boils down to your attitude, belief, commitment, development, and how you develop your self-image, the ABCDs. People can feel that attitude. They can feel that belief. It's why New Orleans would be so important in my mind to get booked for, because people can feel whether or not you're committed to these things or whether or not you're just giving it a test drive. again, what I'm saying, I'm speaking language to those that really want to make a commitment, that really want to build a business. This may or may not be the training for those that aren't wanting to accelerate their business right now, but you'll still get some good nuggets to stay on here. But your commitment levels, people can tell that, they can sense it, and the development of your self-image. This is where that personal development layered on top of everything we teach continues to help us grow. You cannot perform in a way that's inconsistent with how you see yourself. And so how we see ourselves as you can't have what you don't see, everybody. You got to really see yourself as a top producer, top performer, top earner, someone walking the stage, someone leading people before you can arrive there. So it does matter who we're letting speak into our life. It does matter the people we're around. It does matter when we participate in things like this that keep us accountable and keep us focused, because it helps craft that self-belief. Now, I'm going to pause here because my time's up for tonight. We're going to come back this next week. We're going to jump right into what does your list look like. I'm going to jump it deep into Law 1. We may even get to some of Law 2 next week. But it is going to be a fun time to be together. I know that there's other commitments. Let me see if I need to scroll to something else. Yeah, let's go here. Scroll to my last couple of slides, because this is really what I wanted to end with here. What are we going to do this week, everybody? And I will open it up. We'll see the chat room. If I take a minute or two on questions, that'll be fine. But our time is up for tonight. So what are we going to do this week? We're going to, just with what I taught tonight. See, I believe that you already either know what to do because you've been taught by some great people, or you know where to go find out how to invite, present, and follow through. Yeah, I'm going to teach you some things that I learned, but you know what to do. You don't want to wait to do it. And so what are we going to do this week? We're going to move some marbles. I want to see how many marbles a group this size can move. 500 plus maxed out right here. There's going to be a bunch more watching it. Share with your teams that screenshot of the, how that they can text in and get opted into this communication series so that they can be a part of it, because your company is making an investment in you the next 8 weeks with what we're doing here on Wednesday nights. But we want to move the marbles. This isn't just about teaching and training. It's about seeing some numbers on the scorecard, on the scoreboard for 7K. So we're going to move some marbles. Fill out your scorecard. This is easy homework. You're going to get a text with a link. Take a minute or two. Click the link. It's coming. Know that the link's coming now. I want you to know now it's coming. So it's your job to make sure you got something to put on the scorecard. And I'm going to ask you to put zeros on if you've not been able to do anything. Why? Because the pure act of you being willing to be accountable, to say, hey, listen, I didn't get what I wanted to accomplish this week, will cause you to step up to the plate the following week. So I don't hope anybody gets zeros. I just want you to understand what accountability is. Accountability is something we do whether we feel like it or not. And we're not going to be doing this forever. This is an 8-week focus. Fill out your scorecard and help your team. Now, the first 2 have to do with you. You've got to do these 2, but then you also, it's not just go help your team do it. It's you do it and go help your team do it. Everyone, my time's up tonight. This was lesson 1. This was the kickoff lesson. We're going to have some fun over the next 8 weeks. Blake, thanks for having me on here, buddy. I know you can maybe have a final thought or word, and we'll wrap up for tonight.
Love it. Thank you, Ryan. Love it, love it, love it. Thanks for trying to stay on time as well. We got some people that are jumping off, and they're going to start presenting right now. They already got it planned and scheduled, so that's awesome. Give it up for Ryan, everybody in the chat, and pay attention. So we'll make this room bigger for next week. Make sure all your people are here. We'll send out the recording via email to everybody, the whole company tomorrow, so they've got an opportunity to see this. And then via text, we'll make sure it goes out to this group also. So make sure your people that couldn't get on tonight, make sure that they know they're not going to miss it, and to plan on next week. That being said, you guys, we love you. We appreciate you. And let's open it up real quick if you'd like to, and give it up for Ryan.